All right, everyone, that was OK, and I'm here with Marty Anderson from the band OK, formerly of Dilute, and he's from Fremont, NorCal, and he's here to talk about the band a bit. Hi, Marty.
Hi there.
All right, and I just have a few questions for you. So, what kind of a lot of people like to bring up your influences. I've read a couple of articles about, Sparkle Horse and whatnot. I like to think Sparkle Horse. I like Sparkle
I've
Horse.
never said that in my life.
I know you haven't said it, but people will say whatever they want. So they've
Yeah,
said it. I've actually said it
right.
in an article myself because I am pretentious like that. So, what
No,
do you,
it's fine. I own a Sparkle Horse album.
so what do you think? What are influences that have influenced OK? Because OK and Dilute are two pretty different bands. I've noticed. Their Dilute is really instrumental and really technical almost, and while OK is really straightforward, kind of melodic music. What influenced you between the bands and during while you were with Dilute, and while you're doing your thing with OK?
Well, yeah, they are very different, but I kind of feel like they're working off the same principles,
Mm-hmm.
kind of. But I mean, early in Dilute, we were still in high school, and we were listening to, I mean, besides just the normal. Uh, it started off with like the normal. Kurt Cobain, Pearl Jam, whatever was on the radio at that
Awesome.
time.
Yeah.
And then we were in a band, of course, so we could relate and we listened to that stuff. But then we discovered college radio,
Yeah.
and that kind of blew our worlds out of the water.
What was it? What
So
were like? What were like the? Were there any specific bands that you heard? You
yeah,
like?
yeah. I remember the first time I heard Dirty Three, their first
Mm-hmm.
album,
Mm-hmm.
that blew me away. And then we went and saw them, and that blew me away. And
Oh,
then
cool.
we really, really got into Polvo. I remember that was a huge shift because
Mm-hmm.
the way they used different time signatures and the way they were so tight and but just kind of sloppy at the same time.
Yeah.
And so we went and saw them, and it was like whatever band we would get into, we'd kind of like we'd figure them out musically,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go and see them, and then we'd try to basically like top them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were pretty successful at most of that.
Yeah.
But those were like two, and then like June of '44, and just like the indie bands that were around at that time.
Uh-huh.
And a great San Francisco band called A Minor Forest. I don't know if many people listen to them anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
they were just huge. I mean, we just listened to that. They put out that one record, and we just like we listened to that to death.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I've never heard of them. What do they sound like?
Uh, they. It's hard to explain. I mean, it's kind of like what do they call that? Like minimalist, post whatever, like like that kind of the simple
Like the entire
rock.
like the entire ambient thing, or
No.
no?
It was kind of like slower, just kind of very. They had huge dynamics. That was what
Uh-huh.
got us. Is like they'd go from the slow building, kind of like eerie
Oh,
sound,
okay.
and then they just crash into like the most aggressive screaming or something, and then they drop back down to just quiet.
Yeah, it's
And I think
awesome.
that kind of it just set a threshold for
Uh-huh.
Dilute. Like, oh, you can get that aggressive and then cut it back to,
Uh-huh.
it just kind of made it okay for us to push it
Yeah.
farther. And that was one thing we Dilute just like relished in doing is just like, kick it to one dynamic as far as you can and then back to another one. Just kind of mess with your senses.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said that the two bands kind of flow into each other. What are the differences that you hear between the two? Like, what were the differences between songwriting for like getting together with Dilute and making songs that way, and how you make songs for OK now?
Well, that in that sense, they're just totally ultimately different because,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I consider my days with Dilute kind of like the golden age of my career as far as like as a musician, because we played 3 times a week, every week
Uh-huh.
for years,
Wow.
and so it was like I took it so much for granted at the time. I started doing it in 10th grade and just kind of thought that's the way life was. You just
Mm-hmm.
played in the band and did it 3 times a week, but now it's like I can't, but anyway, so Dilute, that was, and it was collective too. It wasn't just me writing
Mm-hmm.
The way it worked with dilute was I would write, the main structure of the song,
Yeah.
and then I'd take it to them, and
They would add on.
It wasn't even adding on. It was really like a deconstruction.
Oh, okay.
I loved, those guys with, like everything, and I just let them take whatever license they wanted, and I never took offense, especially Craig, the bassist. Like, his role pretty much in the band was to destroy what I've built up.
That's cool.
And it always seemed to work out, and everybody seemed to feel like they had a part. That was always really important, to me at least, because I didn't want to be like the front man who wrote everything and everyone else was backing me up.
So do you feel like you have more of that role now with OK?
I can't help but have that role now, because I do all the writing, and I do all the recording myself.
Yeah.
It's just because I would love to have a band, like an OK band, but there is no OK band.
Yeah.
It's just like I call up my musician friends that happen to be not on tour and happen to be in town at the time of a gig, and I'll say, can you come sit in on this show? We're going to do a couple practices before it.
So do you think this... So, sorry.
No, and that's basically what OK shows are, with the exception of a few shows where I got like 10 or 11 people together. We did a little bit more practicing then, but it's totally different. The songs are made to be simple.
Yeah.
Not only for just the aesthetic and what I'm going for artistically, but just for the practicality of it, because I can't get together because of my health and because of everybody not being able to put in that much time anymore.
Oh, okay. So do you think the entire, being a singular songwriter is more of a thing you're just doing now, and you'd be more into having a complete band, or do you think that's something that you want to do for an extended time, and that you're kind of, feeling your way through that, and that you want to stay with that, or would you rather just have a band together?
I would kill to have a band together, to tell you the truth. But I look back on that experience, and those experiences is just like the high points of my life. But I'm doing the singular singer-songwriter thing just out of necessity. It's nice to have total control, and it's nice to do everything at my own pace, and it's kind of necessary with my lifestyle and everything. But if I had people willing to dedicate their time to a band. But the thing is, like, 3 times I've taken OK to the point where we could really like go to Japan and go to Europe, and and we're playing like with Stereo Lab, and it gets it starts to get big, and then I have to cut it off because it's like a band that can't tour.
Yeah.
So how much that's basically the downfall is people put in time. They the more time they put in, the more they want to like make it successful. And it's really not gonna be a touring band or that type of thing. And so pretty much what has happened is people have joined and then kind of migrated onto another, like if we take a break, they kind of start another project that ends up touring all over the place, and that takes precedent because that's what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, I heard that you're coming down to LA with Deerhoof. What is it, in August, or is it later?
October. Early October. But yeah, that's about the extent of what I've ever done, really, with at least since I've been like this acutely, having health problems.
Yeah.
I've gone up to Seattle and done a tour with Juju, and then we went down to LA with Sunset Rubdown once last year.
Yeah, our music director was talking about your show. He was blown away by it. He was talking about how it's completely different from the record. I wish I could have been there.
Oh yeah, our live performances are so different because I do the whole record pretty much in my bedroom or in my living room.
Yeah.
And then live is like completely different. It's like a totally different feel, and I use live players. I let them kind of even write their own parts, so there's parts there that aren't on the record, and
oh wow,
it's really, really a different experience.
So like when you guys do have a live show, do you just get together and talk about what you're gonna do? Because like we have a lot of fans at KUCI. Your record was tops on our top 30 not that long ago, and yeah, our music director has told us about your live show, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious. What exactly do you do, considering it's not like a regular thing? And if there's a touring band, they just kind of go off the fly. Do you guys like kind of get together and just like talk about it, or what do you guys do in preparation for an actual show?
We just kind of, yeah. I mean, I first I just kind of choose, what songs I want to play, which are almost never the songs that are actually out on a new record that everyone wants to hear.
Uh-huh.
I'm almost always playing, which my label is always like kind of, my manager is constantly kind of nudging me or elbowing me about, you should be playing the songs off the record because people are wanting to hear those songs. But I'm like always 2 records ahead.
Yeah.
With my live set.
So do you have a lot of material just already like for a new record by OK?
Or? Oh yeah, I have the next 3 records are written.
Oh my goodness.
It's just because I don't have much energy right now, and I just got out of the hospital, so it's like it's really. I just can't. I mean, I keep trying to record, to be honest, and I just can't settle on it. It's like if I'm trying to record a song, but say I don't have much energy, I just can't settle on a take of a song where I'm not at my best.
Oh, all right.
So I'm just kind of waiting till I have enough.
Is that
spot to do it right?
Is that how it was between Huggable Dust and High Low Road? Because was it that you came up with the material as you were writing High Road Low Road, or was the material later on with Huggable Dust?
No, all that stuff was written like simultaneously. Actually, it's the way those records were written, opposed to the way I've written these 2 upcoming records or 3, is I had no method as far as like, that's why the records are kind of convoluted somewhat. They're not that like flowing. But it's basically I would just be recording all the time. That was just my lifestyle. It was like whatever was going on in my life, there was a song going about that. And whether it was a girl I was into or a sickness I was going through or whatever. Yeah. And so I just kept compiling a big pool of songs, and then a lot of the songs from Huggable Dust are really, really old, like from 1999.
Wow.
So some of them go from 99 to, the whole record's from 99 to 2007. So it's pretty much just a compilation, like some songs I've had forever just sitting on my computer. But then I just, the breakthrough I had to finally like organizing records was just organizing them by themes. And that's what I did with High Road, Low Road. It's not like I said, okay, I'm going to write songs that are positive and put them over here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to write songs that have a negative, take and put them over here. It's just that I'm always writing songs that have positive and negative takes.
Yeah.
Depending on what mood I was in.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then I just took them and separated them and put them on different discs. And then I just went through and after that, I just had all these love songs left over. Because I never really thought I would put those out because they were always kind of personal, and I didn't really think they had much like artistic weight to them. But then I thought, well, they're here, and all my friends dig them, and so I might as well put out a compilation record of all love songs to kind of purge, all the old work. And that's kind of how that happened. But I've had a really kind of a real shift with my songwriting after that, and these upcoming records are kind of like the records I've been waiting to record my whole life. That's another reason why it's taking me so long to kind of get it going on them.
Any hint to the sound? How's it going to differ from what you've already made?
It'll be different. I can't really, I don't even know yet. That's going to be the fun for me, is to see where it goes. But, I mean, I've always had in my head this kind of sound that I've never been able to accomplish, and I'm hoping to try to accomplish it, but it's always kind of been a hybrid between dilute and OK. It's kind of like, the melodic aspect of OK, the simplistic and repetitious aspect of OK, but the kind of symbolic, like saying something with the song structure, is, like Dilute used to do.
Yeah.
Like it's like a language with the song structure, and just like pushing yourself to do pretty much as technical, a feat as you can pull off.
Yeah.
But the OK is kind of like has wiped all that away and just chose simplicity.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt between the two bands. It'll be interesting to meet
But the
some.
only reason I've never been able to do, like the complex with the simplicity is because the complex takes a lot of work
Mm-hmm.
to pull off live, and I just don't have people around who can put in that much time.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But I'm just planning on kind of doing it myself for the first time, just kind of really, trying to do it, basically. But for all I know, I might throw that out the window and just put out another, like, even more simplistic record. I don't know.
That's cool. Well, everyone's definitely looking forward to that. Do you have anything that you're currently listening to that you're into that might be inspiring in any way?
Let's see. I mean, there's always like standards. Like, I really, really like Moondog. If you've ever heard of him.
No, who's that?
He was a street performer in New York in like the 50s, and he was blind.
Oh wow!
And but he was really into the whole playing different signatures on top of each other, like playing 5/4 over 3/4, and linking those up, and the whole like symbology behind that. And I've always been instantly attracted to that. Like ever since I was very young, like playing on the piano, I was always like mixing time signatures on top of each other. There's some sort of like innate power in that. I don't quite understand it, but he does that a lot, and it's just a very, very real music.
Yeah,
it's like, and he has like 3 or 4, records out that, I mean, they weren't records at the time, I don't think, but they've kind of compiled all his stuff into 3 records now.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah, none of people mix signatures anymore. It's always 4/4 and just a lot of generic stuff.
Yeah.
So
I noticed that Joanna Newsom started doing a little bit of it, but I mean, it was nice to hear, at least in an interview, she said she, like, well, I'm not the first one to do this, It's like, at least she's not like claiming she invented it or something. That's been around forever.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why Joanna Newsom's become so popular, at least around college radio. It's just she sounds a lot different. Just her melodies are just like unique,
Yeah, yeah. And she finally found her real voice.
Yeah.
It took a little while, but I heard her original demo because the girlfriend that I was with at the time was taking a poetry class with her, and this was before she was Joanna Newsom. This is just Joanna, who my girlfriend went to poetry class, and I'd hear about that. And then one day she brought home a CD, and she says, "Oh, my friend Joanna has this CD," and I listened to it, and I told my girlfriend to tell Joanna, like, she has nothing to worry about. Once it's like I didn't say anything condescending, but basically what I was thinking at the time was once she finds her real voice, it'll be like she's made it already. I could hear it from that first thing.
How did you like East when it came out?
I loved it.
Yeah. Do you think that's her? Do you think that's her finding her niche?
No, I think her next record will be just as different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she, at least from what I've read about it, it was kind of like a pretty singular record. Especially working with what's his name, Vanek Parks.
I forgot who.
But the guy who did all the arrangements. And stuff, he really, it's him. A lot of that record is him. You know, the feel of it and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if she changes producers, it'll automatically be a lot different.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of records, what would you think would be your favorite record that you've ever listened to?
Favorite record?
Yeah.
Probably John Frusciante's Neandra Ladess.
Oh, I haven't heard that. I've heard practically every other Frusciante album, but I haven't heard that one. How is it?
That's the only one worth listening to.
Well, I got it all wrong then. Yeah. Yeah, it's Frusciante.
That was his first solo record.
Really? Yeah, I haven't heard that one. That's cool. Yeah, Frusciante is brilliant song.
I don't know. It just hit me at the very, I'm sure if I got it for the first time now at 30 years old, it wouldn't hit me at all the same way. It's kind of like, I don't know. He's a young guy himself writing that record. So I think it hit me in high school, and it was so different and so real And I think he wrote that when he was like in the throes of like major heroin,
Fushadi had some
and
problems.
and like he was on the edge of like, killing himself or whatever. And you could hear it in the music,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I met him once. I went to a show of his, and it was like the only time in my life I felt like starstruck.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he was like something else to me when I was a kid. It's because he really, he just, I don't know, he caught me right on like when I was pivoting, in my own self-discovery.
Uh-huh.
And like he became the soundtrack to it, so you can't help but like place all this importance on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll probably just ask a couple more questions.
I know I've kind of tangented off of a few. I don't even think I've answered 3 or 4.
Oh no, I love it. I love it. This is when it's more natural this way. And I wanted to ask you, every picture I've seen of you, you've had an orange beanie on. Is there some sort of attachment to that, or is that just coincidental, or what?
There's no meaning behind it, but I do cling to consistency,
Well, yeah.
And yeah, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of silly. It started off as kind of a silly thing, like, like when Ginsberg was in Paris and he was going to perform How, recite How to his audience.
Yeah.
He was so nervous that he just got naked and recited it, and that helped him. And it was a similar thing, like when I had my first show. As OK with a little band, and it was with Joanna Newsom at the Swedish American Music Hall in 2005.
Oh my God. What a show!
And I was nervous, like, I mean, we only had like a week to prepare, like from scratch, and I had just gotten out of the hospital, and I was like, nervous to do this, and so I was basically in like a neon orange beanie, a bright pink like flowing like gown, Indian type thing, and then red pants that had like the lining, like coming out the bottom that was all frayed, and it was just like this big glowing red, orange, pink like monstrosity. Wow. Basically. But it kind of helped me. I don't know. It helped me feel like like I already felt ridiculous, and just to overkill it, just felt natural, and it helped me kind of relax actually. And then cool. I kind of kept the orange beanie thing. Number one, that was my style of what I wore. I always wore a beanie, it seemed like. But the neon and everything, it was just kind of like a tongue-in-cheek thing. Like, oh, I'm the front man. I'm out in front. Look at me. And you might as well put on the big red hat to make sure everyone knows who's out in front.
Can we anticipate a pink and red outfit when you're with Deer Hoof?
Maybe.
I'm looking forward to that.
Recently, I just the orange beanie I don't think makes that many appearances. I mean, it will if it's near me when I'm on my way out the door or something. But I really don't think about it. It's more just whatever I'm wearing that day. But I mean, the gigs recently have gotten so casual. It's just like me and a guitar showing up, and that's it. So I kind of just we're all actors. We're all playing a part of some sort.
Yeah, for sure. Well, do you have anything else to say to your adoring fans before I let you go?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't, but last night actually, for the first time, I never read my reviews, but a friend of mine was telling me some of the stuff he was hearing in reviews, and so I went through for about an hour and read a bunch of reviews, and it's fine that the media focuses on my health so much. It's the special thing about me, I guess. But yeah, I just really wouldn't let that color, the music so much. I mean, if you know that, and if that's gonna, be in your mind while you're listening to it. Yeah. It's not about that. Yeah, exactly. I don't write songs about being ill. I write songs about being human.
Yeah, that's like, I try to make a point of that. I did a review for our newspaper, and the entire time I'm listening to this music, and I wanted to find out more about you because of the music. It's not like, oh, I heard about your health and I wanted to see like what kind of music can this guy make. The music itself is a really beautiful thing, and I'm glad that a lot of people, at least in this station, have come to appreciate it. I know there are a few really big fans of you over here, so I just want to thank you a lot for spending the time to talk to me and to let this interview go on the air and everything, because we really appreciate it, because we don't know much about. I read all these interviews, and I see a lot of them just revolving around that, and I've always wanted to know more about the person and his influences and things like that, because the music by itself is really good. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for coming on the air with me. And
and also like the just one more thing is just
feel free to go on.
The Huggable Dust record. I it's a little it was a little. I mean, it's exactly what I expected, but like a High Road, Low Road dealt with a little bit more of spiritual matters, a little bit heavier material.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least heavier subject matter, and then I decided to put out a record of love songs.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, quite a bit of the reviews are like kind of saying, what happened to the depths or whatever, And I just wanted to say, like, the next records that are coming out, I mean, just hang in there, if you're a fan and see, like, if you feel disappointed that I just put out like a shallow record or something,
mm-hmm.
it's gonna heavily go the other way if you stick in there. So.
All right, cool. Well, we're all looking forward to that. I'll probably have a couple more words with you after I stop recording this interview, which is a recording, believe it or not, everyone. This isn't live. I know I must have thrown you through a loop. Anyways, so that's Marty Anderson from OK. This is Shapan Debnath. This is How Goes, KUCI Irvine. Thanks for listening. And now more OK. I don't know what song am I gonna play next, Marty?
You are going to play Loveless.
All right, that's the song I'm going to play. All right, there you go. I don't know. I'm just thinking this off the fly. It's pretty intense. All right. Well, thanks a lot to Marty, and this is KUCI Irvine.